Overwhelmed with online?
Or just wanting to learn more about how you can build a successful business amidst all the buzzwords and empty promises?
The Breaking Online podcast takes the boring out of digital and social media
And puts it back into accounting and making sandwiches where it belongs.
Breaking Online is what smart entrepreneurs need to escape the clutter, get clear of the confusion, and pass the bullshit of building and growing a successful business online. Now, here's your host and author of the book on digital strategy and online marketing, The Digital Delusion, Doyle Buehler.
Hello and welcome. My name is Doyle Buehler, and I'm going to bringing you the Breaking Digital podcast. And today I've got actually a special guest, David Jenyns from Melbourne, who's going to be talking a lot about some video plans, some video strategies and that sort of thing, but also going to go into sort of more the dive in deep, I guess, as you can say, into digital and how he makes it work for his business and as well as the industry. So welcome, Dave. How are things?
Yeah, thanks for having us, Doyle. Very excited for this interview. We got it just in time before Christmas.
Yeah, excellent. Have you done your shopping yet?
Well, my wife's pretty organised, so she's done all the present shopping this year.
Well, that wasn't a question about your wife, it was about you.
Well, I've not really done any shopping.
Oh, okay, there we go.
I've done it by default.
Yeah, honesty, that's good. Excellent. All right, well, David's been in the online industry for quite a number of years. How long exactly have you been there?
We're probably coming up to about 15 years now.
Wow,
as soon as I left school, it was pretty much where we started marketing some of the businesses we were doing.
Yeah. Okay, and you've actually done a lot of really cool businesses in the last 15 years, like with the Melbourne Cricket Grounds. Can you explain that?
Yeah, that was one of my first big breaks. I actually copied a strategy that an American based marketer had done where he sold the Brooklyn Bridge for, I think it was like 1995. And basically I replicated that here in Melbourne. So when they were doing the renovations on the MCG, it was the Ponsford stand, and they pulled it down. I actually got a whole lot of the discarded wood and carpet from that demolition and wrote a press release, chopped it up into little pieces, and then sent the press release out saying that Melbourne Man sells the MCG for $24.95. And I got loads of media and sold out of the carpet almost instantly. Yeah. And it was a great experience, but always lots of lessons along the way. You kind of learn that there's a difference between a promotion and a business, and that was kind
that's
of
true. A
promotion.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's cool. And how did you get your start in digital?
Yeah, after that, I've always been interested in wealth creation. When I left school, a friend and I went and did a stock market education course. And we realised to make money in the stock market, you needed money to make money. So all we had was a loan that I'd taken out to do the course. And so he and I actually thought, well, now we understand what some of the problems and issues of other people on the course. We helped write a study guide to help solve some of their problems. So we'd written this guide, and it was a fantastic guide, got excellent feedback in our immediate community, but then getting the word out beyond that, we kind of recognised there aren't that many channels for us. So that's when we started to look online, and I got very interested in direct marketing, direct mail, and brought a lot of those strategies online. And I'm quite fortunate being in the right place at the right time, I think, just as it was starting to break. Okay.
And how are you finding digital now? Is it something that you're finding a lot of traction with, or, still lots to learn?
Yeah, it's at the core of what we do now. There was a lot of changes in the Australian financial law requiring a certain amount of licensing to operate in that financial space. So
that's quite recent, right? The last year or so, couple of years?
Yeah, they keep on changing.
Oh, do they? Okay.
They had a couple of big changes, and but they have kept on made updates following that. But my business partner headed in one direction, and I headed in the other, determined, hey, my real skill set is in marketing, and I built up a good-sized team that we were using to market that book and some other products that we came out with. And we thought, okay, well, let's just go really deep on this, and started up our Melbourne SEO services and Melbourne video production, which really is just servicing medium and small size business basically helping them to market online. And it's just evolved. I think that's the biggest thing that we find with digital is how quickly things change, and that rate of change is picking up as well.
Why do you think it's picking up?
I think obviously we've got a couple of very big trends that we're riding on. For example, the adoption of mobile, obviously increasing the number of people getting onto the web. The amount of time that's passed as well for businesses to recognise, hang on, this is a viable solution for marketing. And there was a period there, and online still provides a fantastic return on investment for your marketing dollar, but you have to evolve and try different strategies. So I think a lot of businesses are really starting to recognise, wow, we need to be allocating some money, some of our budget over to the digital space. So as more and more competition starts to move into a particular medium, that's when you'll watch it start to change. You know, some of the lower hanging fruit gets eaten up. Google's had to evolve as more and more people started to find strategies and methods to try and game the system, you know, as marketers come in, but they still obviously want to provide the best user experience. So they've had to continually update their algorithm and that online experience, and that rate of change that we're seeing these changes occur now is just getting quicker and quicker. So I think it's a combination of a few things: these increased trends, rising number of people hopping on, people starting to recognize the opportunity, and with more opportunity or more competition becomes a much more competitive market.
Yeah. So are you seeing it become more complicated with more tools or less complicated? Sorry, less complicated because there's more tools and more services, or more complicated because you have to learn much more?
I think probably the latter. There's a lot of moving parts now. Previously, there were a few core things that you could do, let's say for ranking a web video, or even ranking your website in organic search. And now Google's taking into account a lot more factors when it comes to getting some visibility with a piece of content. And it's not just about a few simple rules. I mean, at the core of it, you could say, look, if you focus on the fundamentals, if you're creating good, relevant, useful content that helps your target market, and you're sharing it out across the web where your target market is, I mean, that's a good way to simplify it, but there are definitely a lot of intricacies underneath the layer of that.
Mm-hmm. And for somebody just getting started, what should they be looking for or looking out for?
Yeah, I'm always a big believer, if you're just getting started, one of the best things you can do is put yourself in front of a big trend, because it's a case of all boats float on a rising tide. So if you spot things that are rising, you can do that particular method or style of marketing. Just, you don't have to be amazing at it and still do well, because you can't tide. So there's a few rising trends. Obviously, mobile, getting in front of that mobile market and trying to see if you can leverage off that. That can be a great trend. Video is still an excellent trend, and I think it's only increasing as we'll start to see the collision between traditional TV and internet TVs. That still hasn't quite been cracked, but once it has, there'll be a real big explosion with web video. Social, there's still some opportunities in there, particularly now that social is just starting to figure out how to bring in paid media. I know Facebook ads have been around for a little bit now, but Twitter's obviously bringing in some advertising options. So oftentimes these new media, just as they break out, that's when you get some good opportunities. So if you're just starting out, try and pick one or two areas that are in a rising market and position yourself in that space to take advantage of it.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Excellent advice. And obviously video is a huge part of what you provide as well. What do you recommend for, businesses getting started or sort of in the thick of things in terms of video, in terms of the importance of it, how you can best be using it?
For me, and I am a little bit biased because we run a video production company, but there's a real reason
you're the expert.
Yeah.
So we want to know.
Yeah, and there's a reason why I moved into it, because there is such a huge opportunity. The fact is, most businesses and business owners still have this perception that web video is difficult, it's expensive, and there's all these hurdles. And because of that, that creates the opportunity because most people aren't willing to do it. But you're much more likely to get great rankings and visibility very quickly on YouTube, and because YouTube is so closely integrated with Google, being owned by Google, you'll oftentimes see videos appearing in organic search as well. So for quick wins, and that's just from a traffic perspective, not only from a conversion perspective. If someone watches a few videos of you, they very quickly get a feeling of who you are, what you're about, and it'll help with your conversion as well. And there's just a whole lot of these other intangible benefits that come from creating video as well, and being consistent and being recognizable and transparent. So for us, I mean, video is just a huge opportunity, and I think it's probably the lowest hanging fruit online right now. And there is that big trend that I was talking about, the rise of tablet computing, consumption of video on those devices, and once the internet TVs kind of really start to take off, we'll just see that start to explode. I think the statistics say in 2018, 75% of all consumer traffic will be using web video. Okay. So it is a huge trend, and I think to start with, if you're a business owner, you want to get the key videos in place. Usually these are the ones that you do put a little bit more thought and effort into. You create a video that tells your story and why someone would want to do work with you, kind of that answers that question, what do you do? You want a video that really answers that question. You also want to have some frequently asked questions. So there's probably questions in your business that you get asked on a frequent basis, answering those in video format and potentially optimizing for those keyword phrases, and then also having them embedded on your site is a great strategy. And the final video that we really strongly recommend is the raving fans, which is the collection of your clients, getting them to say what a great experience they had working with you in your business, and then having that on your website. It's a great selling tool. So those three, the your story, the FAQs, and the raving fans, those three sets of videos I think every business should have. And then beyond that, if you really embrace video and see the opportunity for what it is, getting into some consistent, regular, ongoing content is a wise move.
Yeah, okay. But quick question, a very serious question too.
Yeah.
Where you didn't mention anything about cat videos or pug videos or fail videos. Like, how's a business supposed to work if you don't have those?
It's funny you say that, because we just recently, Melbourne Video Production was involved in a video that went viral. We got... what was it? 4 million views in 30 days, and it's gone on and well topped 5 million views. We actually were involved in. There's a Romanian 18-year-old Romanian engineer who partnered with someone here in Melbourne, and they did a crowdfunding project, and we were one of the people that both funded and also then supported with the recording of the video. But he made a life-size Lego car powered by air.
Okay, I think I saw that.
Yeah, if you Google it, I mean, it was picked up by 150 different media outlets. It was all over the world. It was a huge success. But I think what that taught me was having a viral video and getting those sorts of views doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make lots of money from it. For us,
No.
we make more money to the tune of 10 or 100 times more than what we ever saw on the viral video, on our consistent, regular communication, answering our clients' questions and helping them solve their problems, and then using that as a way to introduce them to our products and services. So.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Do you? So, just to recap on that one video, did they come to you and say, "Hey, we want you to produce a viral video"? Or
no? So we this Romanian kid had done a few projects before, and this one was slightly more ambitious. He really wanted to, I suppose, capture the minds and hearts of the world and inspire some young kids and get some thought around, what are we doing to actually power our cars, and are there alternatives? He built a Lego car powered by air. So just to stimulate that thought. So he had that idea, and then he teamed up with this marketer in Melbourne called Steve Sammartino, and got a round of funding. So he put out a tweet and a proposal, and we all put in some money. And then as we got closer, he built it over in Romania. We shipped it to here in Australia and flew him over. In transit, it got a bit dinged up. And then we were kind of discussing around how we were going to launch this idea to the world as he got it done. And I mean, we run a video production house, so I spared one of our cameraman and equipment, and at 4 a.m. one morning we rolled out to one of the suburbs in outer Melbourne and recorded us sort of getting it out onto the road and turning it up. It's not something that you could get a permit for to have it driving on the road, so we needed to do it crack of dawn, and we recorded that, and then helped with the editing of that, and then sort of we talked about how to launch it as well. So it didn't have specific commercial intent, and I mean, we are always a little bit dubious when a client comes to us and says, "Hey, I want you to make a viral video for us." It's not as easy as that, and there's always a fine line between something that's going to be shared and something that feels like it's got very commercial intent. So you have to put the right mix of marketing, and it needs to be exciting and newsworthy. And I mean, we were coming into Christmas when we launched it. It was Christmas last year when we launched it. So, you know, it was that buzz around presents, and it was just a fun thing that the media love.
Yeah, we'll put a link to that video in the podcast resource sections for all our listeners. So as well. And this sounds like a fantastic story. So when you get somebody that says, "Hey, I want a viral video," what exactly do you tell them, or do you shuffle them off to another room and say, "What do you mean?" Because look, let's be honest. Like, everybody wants a viral video, but I don't think they are able to sort of understand, well, what is it, kind of thing. Like,
I mean, I think it just comes down to the first thing that we do is really have a talk about, well, what's the actual objective here? Because a lot of viral videos don't make money. I mean, you can have the surfing dog or the cat that vomits on the Christmas tree or something like that. But at the core of it, is that going to actually equal more clients and selling products and services? So I think the first thing that we do is get clear on what their objective is, and then we kind of talk about, well, what are some of the different videos that you've got? Because there's a whole variety of different videos, from animated videos to live talking head videos to live workshop. So it depends on if they want to be positioning themselves as an authority, or if they want to be creating some good, useful content, or do they want to have something fun that just kind of helps them raise a bit of brand awareness. So having that discussion up front, and then determine, right, well, is the viral video going to achieve what it is that you're looking for? And then also helping them to understand, oftentimes something that might be seen as a viral video, it's more branded content, where it can be content that has the branding of the company around it, but it's not necessarily something that someone's going to want to share on their Facebook wall unless they're into a specific niche or area. So there's quite a few considerations to go through, and it's just an education process, really, and giving realistic expectations.
Yeah, no, really. And so have they, what's been your most successful work, or how do you actually measure success with videos then? Yeah,
I think we've had some great success on our core YouTube channels. We try and be the best examples of what it is that we teach. You get the best success with video, and really any form of marketing, with a bit of consistency. It's not about having just one video and posting it. You start off doing those 3 key videos that I talked about earlier, but then you want to get into a rhythm of creating regular content. So we've just had our second YouTube channel now cross the 1 million view mark. And I think just last year we had about 650,000 minutes worth of content watched, which is around 11,000 hours worth of content.
Wow.
And for us, I mean, YouTube's our 3rd biggest referrer through to the website. And the traffic that we're getting from YouTube, it's a different sort of traffic. They're very much pre-sold, because a lot of the content we put out there demonstrates our authority in the niche and helps to educate. And they've found us, as opposed to us very actively going out and marketing to them, because they've got questions and they come to Google for those answers, and then they stumble across one of our videos. But I mean, that's for us. For clients, it does vary. Like, depending on what their objective is, we just worked with a female dating coach here in Melbourne, where she helps high-powered executive women who haven't yet found the love of their life, and she helps them. And what we did is we created a video that she marketed on Facebook direct to this video, which then created that bond, and then she'd book into having some consults after that. And that was incredibly effective for her. She's never had more leads doing any other marketing than having a very tightly tuned message, running Facebook ads, very, very targeted Facebook ads, and then having a free offer. So that works well. But then we've also worked with a cosmetic institute that created a series of educational videos around what are the questions that people ask when getting cosmetic surgery, and some of those top answered questions. So for us, success, it's not just about the view count. It's about how the video can be used, sending out via social and including it in their email marketing. And we layer on the SEO component. I mean, we want the video to be coming up in organic YouTube search and also organic Google search if we can make that happen. We also want to put it on strategic places on the site to help raise their authority. So and I'm not too sure how you measure authority or brand awareness or being top of mind or being seen as helpful. So there are a lot of intangible benefits, and then we focus on a combination of kind of saying, well, here's the number of views that you've got, here's how long the engagement, how long people actually watch through. We have a look at how many people are getting referred to their site from YouTube. So there's a few different metrics that you look at. And it does depend.
But I think a lot of times we're really attached to that metric itself, because that's what, your clients are asking for. It's like, well, how many views can I get? Or, that sort of thing, because we're really not familiar. A lot of businesses aren't familiar with how it has actually accomplished. Like, what is your conversion rate? How many calls did you get? How many direct inquiries did you get as well?
And it makes it hard with those thinking about the metrics that you look at, because if you were to just look at that one metric, and let's say you put a series of 5 videos out, and then because it's your first 5, you'd look at it and you go, wow, I've had 10 views on each of these videos. This video marketing thing doesn't work, and you'd throw it out.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's something that happens with that consistency and doing it regularly and having it build on itself and understanding it's over time that will grow organically. I mean, you make a video once now, and if you do it strategically, that video might have a shelf life of 5 years that you continue to work, and it continues to help you conversion on your website. And it's those that are looking for very short-term gains. They're typically the ones that
ask you about
they've
viral
got
marketing.
Unrealistic expectations. Sorry?
They're the ones who ask about making a viral
that's
video.
Exactly right. Make me a viral video, send me hundreds of thousands of clients and little or no work, and I want to pay under $1,000, and
Right.
I want to have thousands of dollars deposited into my bank account while I sleep.
Overnight.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's good. So what sort of technical issues might a small business encounter when trying to create a video, and how do they overcome some of those?
Yeah, I think initially it's just about some of the preconceptions that they've got in their head about what video entails to get done. My recommendation is you first want to work with a provider. Even longer term, you should make it a core strategy and something that you do internally, but work with a video production house, whether it's Melbourne Video Production or any other video production house. Work with someone to get the first few right, those few key videos I talked about. That can help set the brand values. You'll get a little stinger that sits at the front of your video, those little animated intros, and you'll get the branding, and you'll have an idea of the process from start to finish, and it's almost like you get to leverage off that production house that's done it time and time again to do the quick start. And if you work with them, ask them the questions as they're going. Oh, what camera are you shooting on there? Oh, yeah. What sound are you using? What sort of lighting? And those types of questions when you're working with someone, that's the shortcut way to do it. You can also, there are plenty of different home study courses out there as well. We've got a course called Lights, Camera, Profits, or there's any number of I've seen different iPhone courses and things like that. So you don't want to limit yourself thinking here are some reasons not to do it. I mean, if you're looking for a reason not to do something, you'll find it. If I give you some reasons why you should be doing it, though, hopefully you focus on those, understanding that there's a huge trend here. And really, for a small outlay, not more than a few $1,000s, you can get a great quality camera, some lights, you can get some sort of audio microphone and a tripod. And really, that's all you need to get started. And then I wouldn't get caught up in the technical side of editing as a small business. I mean, sometimes it's hard enough just to be servicing your clients and doing the day-to-day, let alone trying to find time to edit some videos. In that regard, I'd probably recommend finding someone at a local university if you're trying to do it on the cheap, and find a final year, or talk to someone in your immediate network, family or friends, to find out if there's someone in the family that, a teenage kid who wants to earn a little bit of cash on the side, and get them to do some basic editing of your videos, particularly if you've got those core videos done with a professional company and you've got the raw assets. Then you can give those to someone, and then it might not get you the whole way, but it might get you 80% of the way for those ongoing videos.
No, excellent. Now, one of the other things that I found a lot of people are scared of, not necessarily the technical side of creating the video, but also the person side of the video. They're not ready yet, I guess, to sort of be in front of the camera. What would you encourage them to do to get to that space, or start, on a slightly different track where it's not just them, or does it need to be, the business owner?
Yeah, there are a few different ways around it. I'm of the belief that the business owner and some of the team members probably know the business better than anyone else, and they're passionate about it, and having that come across in the video is fantastic, and people really pick up on that. The fact is, the first few videos that you're going to do, they're not going to be perfect, and they'll improve over time. They might even be bad. So make the first few videos of the intention of never actually publishing them. And it's just about that practice and getting comfortable with it. You can find some other ways. If you're really terrified of getting in front of the camera, you can try and do some screen capture videos where maybe you don't visually see yourself on screen. You might just run some sort of PowerPoint presentation and record that. That can be at least a way to get started. Potentially get some other team members, depending on the size of the organization, or doing interview can be another really easy on-ramp. Find someone who is a bit more comfortable in front of the camera and then have them interview you. That can be a great way to get started.
Okay. No, some excellent tips. I got to ask you, David, what makes you really angry about, video, about the industry, about, how it's put together?
Yeah, I think there's still some providers that are still living in old video land, and they haven't quite embraced a lot of the
video land.
That's right.
It sounds like we should make a movie. Welcome to old video land.
I know. I need to have it juxtaposed to new video land.
Yeah, exactly.
With the technology has moved pretty significantly. The video industry used to have quite a lot of sort of fat built into it, for lack of a better word, and there was a big barrier to entry with cost of equipment and those sorts of things. So there are some people that are still sort of stuck in the land of charging $50,000 for a 2-minute web video. And I have seen that. And it does get a little bit frustrating, because that kind of just perpetuates this idea that people can't get started in video. But there are a lot of providers that are progressing with the times and understanding the cost of technologies come down and also embracing the new media as well. So you want someone who's kind of quite progressive. I find that's a bit frustrating because I know for every business owner, web video can add so much to what it is that they're doing and is one of those low-hanging fruits. And I think regardless of how they end up getting started, like I'm just passionate about video and getting people to get their message out via video because it can provide such a great return. And it's frustrating when someone starts looking, but for whatever reason, they come up against some hurdles that just reinforce some old beliefs that.
And what are some of those old beliefs then?
Things like the biggest one is the cost. How much does video actually cost to get doing? And also you kind of addressed one of the other ones, like the misconception that you need to be a professional actor or have hired talent to create a great video, and that it's beyond the reach of companies. I think these myths are what are getting reinforced, but I think that will die over time. I mean, we're seeing there's a huge opportunity right now with YouTube advertising. We're just now right at the start. Mark my words. Look back on YouTube advertising in the next 3-4 years, and you'll say, "Wow, that was where the opportunity was right now." Buying YouTube ads at 6 cents per view is unheard of, and you can get you imagine comparing that against with traditional broadcast media. You can't get on TV, for probably anything less than 30 grand. And now you can get 6 cent views on YouTube. And now, as I said, we're seeing the merge between digital TVs and normal TVs. It's only a matter of time before you'll be able to watch proper YouTube ads as though you were watching it on TV. So I think it's like the Wild West at the moment. People haven't quite figured it out yet, but that's really when great opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, and then there's some really brilliant work too that a lot of both small businesses, but also big enterprise corporations are producing as well. And have you noticed, or what could you comment on, like the quality of videos that we're seeing out there?
Yeah, there's definitely. People are waking up to it. It's so early days now that I think there's a lot of opportunity. But you have got some progressive brands that are bringing out very nice productions. And, I mean, everybody's started to notice more pre-roll ads appearing at the start of their YouTube videos when they start watching them. We're seeing more and more ads, so people are starting to get it and see the opportunity. And we're watching those production values start to increase. It just comes down to where a video is being used. Some videos, you need that higher production value. For example, if you're running a YouTube ad, it needs to capture someone's attention straight away. Whereas if you're just using it for good regular content that's getting posted on your site and on your blog and getting emailed on social media, that can be slightly lower quality as long as the content value is still very high. So yeah, you have to pick the content based on how you're planning on using it.
Yeah, and you mentioned content quite a few times as well, and obviously it's a huge part of, it's pretty much everything that's produced. How do you isolate some of those ideas that they can go, okay, yeah, I want to start a video and it should be on this topic?
Yeah, I think starting off by talking to your frontline staff that are talking to prospects and clients, and having content that answers those questions. Google's kind of shifting towards when they had their Hummingbird update, which, they've had a series of different updates, but their most recent one, which was very significant in that it was a rewrite of their algorithm, really focused on understanding the intention behind someone's search. So when people come to Google now, they're using a lot longer search queries, asking very specific questions, and Google's trying to now serve up relevant results to those longer tail questions. So if you create the content that answers those questions, you'll be giving Google what it is that they want, and then create some great visibility. So that's a good place to start. We also have a methodology, because content creation, the amount of content that you should be creating and what businesses often do create, can be very different just because they can't find the time sometimes. And we've got some strategies. We've come up with a thing. We coined a term a couple of years ago now, and we're quite fortunate. I think it was just right place at the right time, which was called authority content. And at our website, authoritycontent.com, we teach a methodology for batching content creation. And for some clients, this works very well, where we suggest that they run some sort of workshop or one-day event or something where they can batch the content creation. And then that content can then get used on the website and also chopped up into little pieces and syndicated across the web. So that can be a great way for businesses to create, a series of 50 videos all in one go, which might be your content creation for the next 6 months as you can drip that content out. So there are a few different ways to do it and approach it. But I think just thinking about your target market, thinking about the problems and questions that they have, and then creating content that helps to solve those and position you as an authority, that's probably the best way to go.
Excellent thoughts, David. So actually a little surprise for you. I've got on the other line Larry Page. And he just...
Is he listening in as well?
He is, yeah. Hi, Larry. And he just said that, David Jenyns, he's a really cool guy. I want him to be the new CEO of YouTube. What's the first thing you would do besides celebrate, obviously?
I think, if we were CEO of YouTube, I think we would try and give, and Google's doing a good job of it, but trying to give as many tools to the small and medium-sized business owners to get going and get started on video. Once they kind of have a little bit of success, and they've got some different user guides and things like that, but I'd really invest in that education arm to make it as easy as possible for someone to get started. I might even look at creating some sort of marketplace to connect business owners looking for potentially YouTube approved video editors who maybe have gone through some certification or education process so they understand this new media and how to get the most from it. I think that would level up the quality that we're seeing on YouTube, and not so much focus on the surfing dogs and the cats throwing up. It increased the quality of the video, and I think ultimately it would help them commercially as well, because Google still needs to turn a profit from YouTube, and I think by getting business owners on there, business owners understand spending money as long as they're getting a good return. So that's probably what I'd do. Okay,
excellent ideas. Let me know if he calls you, okay?
I will.
Cool. So in terms of what in your mind, what sort of three specific actions could you give our listeners to say, hey, how do we make videos really work for our business?
Yeah, I think the first one is just recognizing the opportunity and saying, yes, I need to create video. So
it's just the confirmation to say, look, this is something that I must do.
And then commit to doing a certain number, or saying, right, I'm going to give this a go for 6 months and create a video every week or something like that.
I know there's not an ideal number, but what would you recommend as sort of a minimum, like once a month, once a fortnight?
Yeah,
because they are hard to produce too, right? They take time and resources and everything.
If you batch the content, it can make it a little bit easier. And there are a few things that you can do to make it easier on yourself. But ideally, I'd love to see a business, maybe they put aside half a day and they could record 4 videos a month or something like that. So they drip out 1 a week. I think that's a good starting point. But I mean, that's maybe once you've got a little bit of momentum, really just set yourself a goal. If you've never done video, let's just do 1.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll try and set the bar as low as I can just to get started. And then you just want to keep leveling up from that. And if you understand my concept of all boats float on a rising tide, some people will just get that and understand that there's that opportunity there. So if you were going to allocate your money anywhere, you want to look for those markets that are rising.
Okay.
So that's probably like the first action item. Then The second action item after that would be, let me think. Once you've created that first video, I think just spending some time. Maybe that second action item is to work with someone for that first video. I just think the benefit that you save and getting all of the assets and that intelligence, and whether or not you end up working with them long term is beside the point. You can use that as a way to jumpstart. That's probably the quickest one. Mm-hmm. And then finally, and maybe a little bit self-serving, we've got some educational material that you just want to try and hook into someone who understands this type of marketing. I mean, just following what you do, Doyle, you've got some awesome regular content that's going out. And I mean, that's one of the reasons we connected, because our messages were so tightly aligned. You want to try and find a couple of people that you listen into and try and turn off a lot of the other noise. It's very easy to get your inbox filled with all of these newsletters you've subscribed to, but find one or two people that you really resonate with quite well, and I think one in the area of video, and focus in on implementing some of the things that you're learning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And besides yourself, what other sort of industry experts are out there that they can connect with? And, perhaps, how would you like people to contact you if they do want to get some expert advice?
Yeah, so there are some different blogs out there. There's one called Real SEO. That's REEL SEO.com. So it's all around YouTube marketing and videos, and that's an excellent industry.
I subscribe to that one.
That's a great place to get a good sort of general info. YouTube also do have some things like their YouTube playbook, and there are some channels that you can subscribe to. I always like to get the information from the horse's mouth. So if you do some searches around sort of YouTube education and try and find some channels that way. And I mean, for us, I don't follow that much in the video space. For us, we learn more by doing it for the clients. Mm-hmm. But I think Real SEO is probably a good one.
And do you have like a program, like an email program or anything that provides that type of information as well?
One of the ways that we connected actually was through the Key Person of Influence program, and I did put something together for the KPI program, which was a webinar that I ran with Tim Reed, who's one of their spokespeople. And if they head to melbournevideoproduction.com.au, so it's melbournevideoproduction.com.au/KPI, that link there will give you a 16-page report talking about those 3 key videos that you should have and some of the equipment to get like a quick start guide. And there's also the webinar with Tim Reed where we go through and talk about the opportunity with video marketing and what are some things that people can do to get started. So that's a good, easy place to get started.
Okay, cool. So just to summarize your 3 actions then, the first one is to just do it, right? Yep. Just commit to it, find your topics and do it. The second one was, what did we say?
Connect with a video production
that's right.
And just get one video at least.
Yeah, just to kind of get the ball rolling so that you're not kind of dragging your feet and don't really have any excuses, right?
Yep.
And the third one was to connect with your authority, your key people of influence.
Yeah, yep. In that, particularly in the web video space, I think because it's one of those rising tides, try and pick out what are the 1 or 2 places that you and your business is really going to get good at. And if video is one of those, subscribe to people in that space. Maybe you might decide Facebook advertising is the other one. So you might pick out a couple of experts in that space. Just pick out a couple that you resonate with and really start to just follow their stuff and implement as much as you can. The implementation is key.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's excellent. And in terms of, do you have something like a gift or anything that you would like to give to our audience at this time?
Yeah, look, I think if they head to that melbournevideoproduction.com.au/KPI, there's that downloadable PDF and the video as well that they can watch straight away. That'll give you the 20%, the 80-20. It'll give you the 20% that you need to know to get the 80% of the result.
Yeah. Okay. That's excellent. And we'll have that link on the podcast URL as well. So in our reference section for that. So no, thank you very much, David. Was there anything else that you wanted to add? Any other thoughts or ideas that just sort of been at the tip of your tongue that you want to get out there?
I mean, it probably came across in the webinar about how excited I am and passionate about web video. I'm a marketer at heart, and a real strong area for me used to be SEO because it used to provide the best return on investment for your marketing dollar. And I'm really not one specific channel biased. Even though we have the production house, there's a reason we moved into that space is because of the opportunity. So, I mean, for me, I just see video as one of the best things that you can do online. So if you take anything away from this, just take away that idea that you need to start doing video. And I think you'll look back on this podcast in 3 or 5 years' time and go, oh, wow, that was such a significant distinction for you, and I'm glad that I followed through.
All right. Excellent sage advice, David. Thank you. I really appreciate you spending the time and just wanted to wrap up and thank all our listeners. And again, it's been a wonderful sort of idea to understand what it is that we need in terms of the video. I mean, I know it's a constant training and education process as well, but just allowing us to fit those pieces together. So I really appreciate your time, David. So thank you very much, David Jenyns from melbournevideoproductions.com.au. Did I get that correct?
Perfect. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And we'll be signing off from now. So have a great day and we'll see you online.
Thank you for listening to Breaking Online with Doyle Buehler. While he goes and makes a sandwich, you can find all the notes, links, and details of this podcast by visiting thedigitaldelusion.com/2. Go on and click that now. www.thedigitaldelusion.com/2. I'll definitely click that. If you'd like a free copy of the book, The Digital Delusion by Doyle Buehler,
Just email Doyle at thedigitaldelusion.com.